so it kind of just stemmed from a really character centric place, as opposed to like a gimmicky place, I hope. And so I hope people think it's like a really cool feature, but it's by no means what we made the movie for. And I hope people have fun discovering it.
Brian, this film is fantastic, man. I watched it last night with my headphones on all the way up so I didn't disturb anybody else. I'm going to tell you right now, that was the way to do it, because that
sound loud, baby,
and the score is brilliant in this film. Now, I got to ask you,
I'll talk about the score for days, man. Yeah,
that's one of my questions, but how did you come up with the concept for No One Will Survive, and what inspired you to tell this unique, thrilling story?
Yeah, it started with the character that Kaitlyn Dever plays, Bryn. I had this idea for the character. There's some spoilery inspirations for her, but I was just like, this is such an interesting character. She's so young to have gone through so much. And what does that person look like in the day-to-day world? And as I was kind of working on that, I have like the movie theater in my mind that's playing all the different ideas I have. And, the walls crash down between these two movies. And I was like, that's really interesting. It's the idea of like, if this event happens, it's going to happen to everybody, no matter, it's going to happen on someone's wedding day. It's going to happen 5 minutes before or after someone dies. It's just going to happen. It doesn't care what you're going through or who you are. And that felt like a really fun way into an alien invasion thing, from the least likely person possible, this kind of recluse girl who is going through quite a lot in her life already, and then has to deal with this other layer of drama on top of it. So the ideas just got married in my mind, and then it was kind of off to the races, man.
Kaitlyn's performance is outstanding in this film, man. She's absolutely incredible. She's in like almost every scene in this movie, if not every scene. What did she bring to the role that either surprised you or just wasn't on the page? Which is also impressive because there's not a ton of dialogue.
The thing with Kaitlyn is it's like I cast her, and as soon as she was in, I was just like, well, I'm kind of done. like I think and she knows, everyone knows, like I'm such a fan of hers in both, obviously so funny and book smart. And then like you have, at the time I hadn't seen, trying to remember the timeline, but like I don't think Dope Sick had come out yet, and then that was insane. But like I was really blown away by her in Unbelievable on Netflix. And so then you're just like, someone does that many like just bangers, you're kind of like, that's not a fluke, and that's not a director like pulling the performance. Like you're just like, someone's really good at their job, and that was true of Kaitlyn. And it was just she's so meticulous and dedicated and planned. Like it's like every beat. What's one of the things that's really cool about Kaitlyn is like, just in the editing process, you might move like a shot a little earlier or a little later, and she could always tell, and she would be like, that's not quite the performance I'm giving in this shot. And I was like, it works, it's great. But like she's so like, she has such mastery over what her face can do and what it can convey, and like she can read it like it's like someone reading sheet music. It's crazy. And so on camera, I got everything I expected, which was that she's one of the best actors alive. So I wish I could say like she gave me more than I expected, but that would, I think, diminish how incredible she has been for the last like 20 years, because she's so young but has been doing crazy good work for so long. And then what was really great, and that was a surprise, and I knew she was a lovely girl, but she like being a director can be isolating and hard, just because you have so much to do, and then having like a partner, because she's a producer on the movie as well, and like having a partner that like just would rally the crew, like the crew. I've never, like, I don't want to say I've never been part of something like this, but like the crew loved Kaitlyn. Kaitlyn loved the crew. Like it was really cool. Like everyone, like, because she's on every frame, right? You kind of want all the crew to show up for that person. Like like way more so than me. Like hopefully I'm a nice guy, but like they have to make her look good. And just like the way she treated everybody, and the way everybody loved her, and the way I think she still is in touch with like the whole crew basically. And like how I know our whole crew is like rooting for her like afterwards. And I know like I think there was like projects she was gonna do in New Orleans until like the strikes and everything. And I knew like the crew was like all trying to get on it and stuff. Like it's like that was so cool. It made everyone's life so easy where you're like, our Kaitlyn, like I'm the leader by the fact I'm the director, but Kaitlyn is the movie. And the fact that everyone was so excited because they loved this girl so much, not because she was a great actress, but because she was a great person, just it made it so easy. And at a very hard time because we had terrible weather shutdowns and we had the COVID surge. So we were losing people left and right to, their 2-week quarantine kind of thing. And Kaitlyn just like kept everyone motivated and happy. And it was, I clearly love her. I can't say enough good things.
She's absolutely incredible. Now, there's not a lot of dialogue in this film, but it keeps you engaged with Kaitlyn's performance, the mystery of the aliens, and Bryn's past. And the pacing of the film is incredible. Can you talk about the advantages and challenges of crafting a film with very little dialogue?
It kind of just became like a bonus feature as opposed to a main event for us. Like it was just, it really stemmed out of what makes it hard for Bryn. And it's something that I'm excited for like audiences to kind of discover at the same time. But it really just kind of became like, it would be a bummer if she passed the TV and it explained everything to her. So she should lose power at some point and then not be able to like turn on the TV and get information. And so it kind of just stemmed from a really character centric place, as opposed to like a gimmicky place, I hope. And so I hope people think it's like a really cool feature, but it's by no means what we made the movie for. And I hope people have fun discovering it. But it just kind of made Bryn's life harder, which was great, which is kind of what you want. Like you want her not to be able to have like a boyfriend she can like call and be like, come save me. Like it's like,
right.
It's the title for a reason, man.
I love it too, because it made me feel like I was with her all the way through, experiencing exactly what she was experiencing as well. Look, I love the fact that you use the gray aliens, because those are probably what most people identify with extraterrestrials. And it's crazy, man, because ever since this Mexico thing with the Congress saying that there were going to be aliens, I've been doing this deep dive on aliens randomly. And then your movie comes along and it just lined up perfectly for me. So what inspired the choice?
A lot of money on that, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of money getting NASA to while I've been doing press today, I know NASA released their like giant document about UAPs, and I'm like, I haven't read it yet, but I'm like, I got a week to go. Like, they better not blow my release.
Right. Well, that was what went into the decision of making the gray aliens, because I feel like we haven't seen those aliens a lot cinematically.
I mean, that's why you nailed it. That's why I wanted my boys back on screen, and no one was doing it, and so I took matters into my own hands. And it was really. That was the selfish, like big picture reason. Like I love that design. And then like there was the movie specific reasons, which was, knowing that they were going to show up like 5 minutes into the movie, they need a face that Kaitlyn can act opposite. And a lot of alien designs that kind of moved into faceless, which is really hard, especially with this much alien. And then second, because we were going to put like the end of our movie at like minute 5, or the end of most movies at minute 5. Like I wanted the audience and Kaitlyn, there's something downstairs. She sees a shadow. She's like, oh, it's a burglar. And then she sees like a little piece of the creature and realizes it's an alien. And so just by that little glimpse of it, I wanted her and the audience to go, alien, done, know what it is, all on the same page, go. And so there's never really a moment for me that the audience and Kaitlyn aren't on the same page. Like you said, it's like, you want to feel like they're holding hands and experiencing it together. And so having them, everyone goes, they see the glimpse, and without having to say alien, everyone can go alien. And then you that's our canvas. We have this gray shaped canvas that we get to work on, where we get to add the fun little details like the creeping toes, or like their dialect, and then how we bring in different subspecies. And so it just felt like get everyone on the same page really fast. This is what we're dealing with. And then you can kind of build on that, pull the rug out from underneath it, have all the fun with it. But it's like on page 5, you don't want audiences being like, maybe it's a Dracula, maybe
Sure.
it's a crocodile. It's like alien, done, go.
Speaking of aliens, in a lot of ways, Bryn almost feels like an alien in her own community with the way she's kind of ostracized from everybody else in the community. Can you talk about the character of Bryn a little bit?
That's exactly our intention. It was that she should feel a little bit of an invader herself, a little bit of an unwanted presence in the town. She, I think paying close attention to like the birdhouse village she's building in the movie, and there's birdhouses that are kind of all throughout the movie. That's a kind of a really fun detail. Our amazing production designer Ramsey Avery came up with. And yeah, it was for us. It was like this girl that had a very complicated, troubled past, but it put in a lot of really hard work to kind of make herself as okay as she, I think, feels like she deserves to feel. It was really important for Kaitlyn and myself to feel like there's this is a character that, while hard stuff has happened, she's got some joy. She's got this house. She's got, it's a really well-rounded life. She's not miserable. And then she's made this kind of snow globe for herself. And then the aliens break it immediately. And then she kind of has to pick up the pieces and kind of figure out like it's not for us. It's like, it's not even, how will she fight back? It's like, does she want to fight back? Like, are some of the options better for her? And I think some of the answers are surprising to the character. And then she has to kind of dive into that. And so it just felt like a really unusual and fun way to kind of, on the one hand, she's running, screaming, getting her ass kicked and kicking ass. And on the other hand, she's doing a lot of psychotherapy at the same time. So it felt like a really, really unique cocktail of a character in a movie that like I wish I had like a really cool reason for like why they got married in my head. I don't. But maybe in like 20 years I'll be like, oh, that makes total sense to me now. But it's just something that it made sense in my Duffield brain, and I was just like, let's just go with it and see where it takes us.
It works. It works.
Cool.
Listen, so as I said, I watched the film with my headphones in, and man, it's crazy because you can almost, with the way the score works, you can almost, feel what's going on with Bryn, the way she's feeling kind of internally. And if I'm not mistaken, you played the score during production, during scenes, right?
Not during the scenes themselves, but we had the score. Yeah. So I think sound would have murdered us if we did that. And I've been on sets where they do that, and I'm always just like, I just feel like the sound guys are just like melting down. So not during a scene, but it was great. Like, I've worked with Joe for a long time now. And on this one, like he's usually one of the first people to get scripts when I write them. And we were talking about this one, and we'd cast Kaitlyn, and Kaitlyn's a musician in her own right, an amazing musician. And we were talking a lot about the music and about Joe. And then it just kind of became this thing where Joe was just like, should I just start writing music? And I was like, I'm never going to say no, because why would I? Right. And it wasn't like an audition, like he had the job. Like it wasn't like an audition piece. It was just something where we were like talking about it so much that he was just like, let me just do this. And like in the past, Joe had sent me playlists of other tracks, like not that he wrote necessarily, but he was like, I think I'd rather let's just see what happens. And then he would just send these playlists, and Kaitlyn and I would be like, that's really cool. That could go really cool for this scene, or that sounds like Bryn in my head. And so Kaitlyn was able to hear Bryn's theme and the aliens themes and and it wasn't like the finished score, but it was like a good chunk of like the movie. Like there's like a great, like a ticking clock kind of thing Joe has in it. Like, and that's basically from the playlist. Like I was like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, that's going there. We're shooting. Like, I think he sent that while we were shooting, and I picked up shots because I was like, oh, this is like, I need Kaitlyn to look like she's made that turn because the music needs it. And then Kaitlyn heard the music. I was like, we need to do this so I can pay off the music. And it was it was so cool. And like, I won't work another way. Like it was so helpful to like have like the studio heard the music, the crew could hear the music. And it just kind of made everyone go, this is the movie we're making, in a way that is so much more articulate than I am. So it was really cool. And I, having that shorthand with Joe, made it possible. And like, I don't know what the next thing I'm doing is, but I know that it will happen that way. Like,
it sounds like a truly like immersive creative process that all you guys did. The film is fantastic.
It just makes so much sense. Again, I've heard since, like, I think the Wachowskis do that now, not because of me, they did it before me, but it just makes so much sense. Like it's like, it's crazy. Like, as soon as we did it, it was like, it's crazy that we never did this way. Like, it just makes so much sense. Like, it was so stupid that people wait until the end of the movie to score it.
Right. Well, like
I get why, but it just, like, financially why, but it for us, it was just, I could not stress how it, like, I was shooting specifically because the music was dope.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah,
it for real was. I cannot wait to watch this film again. No One Will Save You is excellent. And I gotta watch it again too, because I'm not mistaken, there's more. It seems like there's more than one species of aliens in this film that I kind of want to look out for. It seems like there's at least a couple in there. So look, man, incredible film. I can't wait for everyone to see it. I hope they play the volume all the way up. Film is fantastic.
Thank it,
Brian.
Yeah, it's made to be played loud.
Absolutely. Brian, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.